Hey guys, it's Miss Rubio, and I'm back to do your writing lesson again this week. I am very excited because last week I read a lot of great personal narratives, and I saw a lot of people doing great things by using the writing process. Okay, today I'm going to show you some great examples from some students from last week, and then we're going to go into starting our new prompt for this week. Okay, before I do that, I want to review what a personal narrative is, and then I want to review the writing process. So let's look first at what a personal narrative is. Okay, a quick reminder, a personal narrative is a story that has happened to you in your personal life. Okay, so here I have, it's about you. It's a story that has events told in order. Okay, so you have to keep in mind, it's a story about you, so the point of view that it's in first person. So you're talking I, my, me, that type of pronoun in your writing, okay? What's very important that I did see that some people were struggling with last week is having a beginning, a middle, and an end, okay? A lot of you had strong beginnings, and then you had a good middle, and then you kind of lost me at the end, okay? You have to make sure that your paper is strong throughout the entire paper, beginning, middle, and end, okay? Another thing that I saw that was a struggle for some of us is elaborating in detail. Okay, a lot of you are writing things, and it kept the reader asking, well, what kind of toy, or what kind of phone, or what kind of hair coloring, or what kind of this, or what color was it, or how big was it, or how many? And so you never want to leave the reader asking questions about the small details. Okay, that's why I have here at the bottom, details, details, details. Really elaborating in those details. Okay. So here off to the side, you must have characters, a setting, problem, climax, solution, and then of course your details. And so we use the roller coaster to help us map out, or help us plan out our personal narrative, okay? Which a lot of you did a great job on. Another thing to always keep in mind is the writing process. Now, the writing process is not just for personal narratives. We've been using the writing process throughout all of 4th grade, right? To write opinion papers, to write informational papers, to write different narratives. So the writing process is something that you're going to be using for the rest of your life. You have to make sure you know what it is. You have to make sure you brainstorm your ideas, right? That you plan, you map out your ideas. It's important to have a plan because sometimes we can get off topic. So it's good to have a plan so we can stick to it. A rough draft, so letting all your brilliant, beautiful, detailed ideas out, right? And then revise and edit, which I'm going to show you some cool things today on revise and edit. And then your final draft, okay? So always keep in mind that the writing process is something that you'll be using every time you write a paper. Now I want to show you 2 examples from last week. Now there was way too many great examples to choose from. So I only chose 2 because I don't have a lot of time, but I chose 2 examples to go over and to show you some student work in 4th grade. These are kids that are in the same class as you are, the same grade that you are in, that wrote these personal narratives that I kind of want to use as an example to help you to understand what is expected of you, okay? So let's take a look at this first paper. I'm not going to say any names. I know you know who you are. So let's take a look at this first paper. Okay? Last week's prompt was talking about a time. It says, think about a time when you finally got something you've been working hard to get. Tell the story about your struggle, how you worked hard to get it, and what was it like when you finally had it. Okay? So this student brainstormed 3 different ideas. Okay? So they have going to the doctor, dentist, and then having surgery on their eye. Okay, that was their brainstorming. Then they came here and they mapped out everything they were going to talk about in their story. Okay, they have their characters, they have their setting, they have what happened first, what happened in the middle, what happened at the end, what was learned after that, or what happened at the very end, right? Okay, then they wrote their rough draft. Okay, I like how they started their rough draft with the age. And they also put the location of where they were, right? As I was reading this story, I did find a beginning, I did find a middle, and I did find an end. That is what your teachers are looking for. We're looking for a beginning, middle, and end in your stories, along with details, a beginning, A detailed beginning, a detailed middle, and a detailed end. Okay, and then they went on and they revised their paper by clearing up any mistakes. Okay, that's one example. Another example I really enjoyed reading was this paper right here. Now again, they used the writing process to write their personal narrative. They brainstormed ideas. Okay, then they mapped out. In your mapping out, you are not writing a whole entire paragraph in this box. They have 1 to 2 sentences in each box, if that. And so again, they have their beginning, their middle, and their end. Okay? Then they have their rough draft. And as you can see these squiggly lines under these words, if you have a red squiggly line, which I'll go over more in the video for Tuesday's lesson, if you have these squiggly lines, that means that that word is spelled incorrectly. So again, I'll show you that later on how to correct it, but this student got the hang of it because if you go to the next page on the revise and edit, they don't have any red squiggly lines. That means they corrected their errors. So very, very good. And again, this student had a beginning, a middle, and an end. They even had dialogue in there. You only have 6 weeks to study for the competition. So I really, really enjoyed reading those papers. Okay, so now we're going to go into our new prompt. I'm going to be brainstorming and planning for today, and then I'll make another video for tomorrow to write my rough draft and to show you how to revise and edit. Okay, keep in mind that this is not a 1 sentence or a little paragraph paper. You have to have a well-developed paper. Okay, so let's get started. I'm really excited for this week's prompt because this week is actually Teacher Appreciation Week. Okay, so I chose a prompt where we can appreciate all the teachers in our lives. So let's go ahead and read the prompt. Here's our prompt for this week. It says, every teacher is special in their own way. Choose one of your teachers, any grade level, any subject, even specials, and tell a story about why he or she is special to you. Okay, so again, I'm going to read it again because I always like to read the prompt twice. Every teacher is special in their own way. True. Choose one teacher. That's a key word. One teacher. I know it's hard for me. I know it's probably hard for some of you guys to choose just one teacher, but only choose one teacher, and it can be any grade level. It doesn't have to be in 4th grade. It can be from your previous grades. It can be from a different school. Any subject. It can be a specials. But here's the important part. It says, tell a story about why he or she is special to you. Okay, so we're going to have to tell a story about why they're special to us. Okay, so I'm going to model how to brainstorm. And I'm going to double click here and I'm going to write my ideas out. Remember, brainstorming is when you create a list or a web of ideas. I'm going to create a list because it's easier for me to do on the computer. So I'm going to go ahead and create my list. Okay, so here I brainstormed some teachers that have made an impact in my life. What I mean by that is I have a story about each one of these teachers that really inspired me to be a teacher, or inspired me to like a subject, or inspired me to be better at something. And so I picked teachers that I knew I can talk about in a story about a moment I shared with them, right? So I have Miss Galahar, my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Machado, my 4th grade teacher, Mr. Garza, my math teacher, Miss Rose, she used to be my after-school teacher, and then Mr. Davila, he was my music teacher. Okay, again, I picked teachers that I can tell a story about a time where they inspired me to be something or do something. Okay, I decided to highlight and pick Miss Galahar. She was my 3rd grade teacher and I have an awesome story about Miss Galahar. So I'm definitely going to pick Miss Galahar. So I know some of you guys were asking how to copy and paste things. So all you have to do is highlight. You're going to right click. You're going to press copy. Sometimes you might have to do Control+C on your thing. So you just click on Control and then hit C at the same time. And that's going to copy it for you. And then here on my planning sheet, I'm just going to put as my topic, I'm going to put Miss Galahar, 3rd grade teacher, as my topic there. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start planning out what my story is going to look like, okay? Let me go back to my prompt. I'm focusing on this. Tell a story about why he or she is special to you. So I'm going to tell a story about why Miss Gollihar is special to me. I'm going to write about a time that she has made me feel special. Okay, so far I have my characters. Again, I only have my main characters. There are going to be some small characters in there, but I'm not going to name them. So my main characters is going to be myself, and then my teacher, Miss Gollihar. And then my setting, again, the main setting is going to be my 3rd grade classroom. Okay? And so I first start off with my problem. Now, you're not writing all the details, right? You're just mapping out. So look how I just wrote one sentence in this problem. I list the problem. In 3rd grade, I was a struggling reader, and I was called on to read out loud in class. So that's my problem, okay? Okay, so here I have my climax. Now remember, the climax is the most exciting part. Now I know since this part in my story is not exciting, but this is where it brings out the most emotions in my story, where I'm like, so it doesn't have to be like exciting, like yay! It can be like exciting, like oh my god, right? And so that's what my story is right now. So in my climax, when I started reading, when I started reading, I mispronounced words and stuttered through it, and most of the kids in my class started laughing at me. Okay, so again, that's not exciting, but that's the moment where like I'm reaching the climax where I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do at this point? Okay, and now I'm going to go work on my solution. And so the solution that I wrote is that my teacher, Miss Gollihar, taught the class about personal struggles and strengths. So she of course stopped everyone from laughing at me, and then she talked about how, you know, I'm struggling in reading. She pointed out my struggle. She said, but you know, Ashley's really good in math, and she doesn't laugh at people who aren't good in math. So she also reminded everyone to be kind. Okay, so that was the solution. She reminded everyone to be kind to each other. Okay, so now I'm going to go and start writing my conclusion. Okay, in my conclusion, I'm going to go revisit. In your conclusion, I want you to tying in those emotions. Okay, so tying in those emotions. So in the conclusion, this is what I wrote. I put, Miss Gollihar worked with me every day to become a strong and confident reader. She didn't just teach me how to read, but she taught me how to be kind. Okay, so again, that is me explaining why Miss Gollihar is my favorite teacher, or the teacher that really inspired me to become a teacher. And so I'm not just going to write these bullets into my planning tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to elaborate in detail, but this is all you have to do for today. Okay, so today you're going to brainstorm on this new prompt. Okay, then you're going to plan out your ideas, okay, for today, for Monday. Okay, Tuesday will be a different assignment, so I'm going to show you what your assignment's going to look like for today. Okay, so today again, you're going to work on your brainstorming piece, your ideas of which teacher is special to you. Then you're going to plan out your paper, okay? Remember, these boxes are 1 to 2 sentences. This is not where you're adding those details. These are just your ideas, mapping out your ideas and mapping out your story, okay? Tomorrow, we will go into writing our rough draft and revising it, so I hope to see you tomorrow. Please make sure you are brainstorming and planning. It is very important to go through the writing process to become an excellent writer. I look forward to reading your personal narratives. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!